Hello and welcome to another edition of After the Whistle Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. I have my hat on because I'm cold.
Yeah.
I'm just cold. I was going to take it off, but I'm cold. And this bipolar weather out here.
Yeah, I stay with a hoodie.
Yeah, man.
That's what I do.
It is hoodie season. It definitely is hoodie season. Well, you know what is a funny song? Kumo D, How You Like Me Now?
Oh yeah.
The whole song is hilarious. Just what he be saying.
Was that one of the disses towards LL Cool J?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a subliminal, yeah.
Supposed to be, and then LL hit you with that. I'm gonna knock you out. Come on.
Yeah, I was watching the music video the other day in my class. I
felt like that song was in like a Batman movie or like one of them 80 movies.
It feels like a song that you just played, that you just play in a movie when like there's some type of action happening and stuff like that.
Kumo D glasses was crazy.
The glasses, he had the little dance. They was doing that little dance.
He had the little hats.
I might dress up as Kumo D next year for Halloween. Man, we got a lot of sports to get up on, to get y'all caught up with. First up, the Pats. I swear, the Pats are like, they always cause chaos for the Colts because whenever they beat the brakes off the Colts, their organization just goes into like flames or whatever. But in this game, the Pats just dominated this whole game. It wasn't even close.
I mean, bro, it should have went in the flames. You went 0 for 14 on third downs. What were you doing?
I don't know what.
Were they trying to set the record for most 3 and outs in the game?
They probably did set the record.
14, I've never seen that in my life.
You know, their offense, you just threw in a new quarterback. Your star running back is out. So you got receivers, but everything's just in confusion. They don't know. They have no idea what they're doing. And then that's how you end up getting a performance like that, getting the brakes beat off you, and that's how your coach gets fired.
Yeah, man, they had this guy throwing the ball 29 times for the Colts. What is his? Is it Ellinger? Ellinger? All right.
Ellinger or Ellinger.
Well, Ellinger, yeah, I'm sorry for you, bro. They threw you in a dumpster fire situation. They should have gave their running backs at least 30, 35 carries just to let you get acclimated to being a starter, bro. That's crazy, man.
He was a lead in rushing, too. That's the problem.
Come on, have these teams not realized the formula for disaster is to have your quarterback be your leader in passing and rushing? That's why you pay like a plethora of human beings on your roster that actually are under the position running back and fullback.
He was going
what is going on here?
He was going up against a defense too that's been playing pretty well. So despite some of the games they lost, but the defense has been playing pretty well. And I just know I'm a rookie and I get out there, I get sacked 9 times. I'm just like, yo, you start to reevaluate things and you're like, yo, what's going on here?
I mean, you might as well just go be a wrestler. You don't want to hit the ground that many times. At least be like a more household name. You have action figures and all that.
Right.
But the Pats, man, they've been balling. They're playing traditional football, balanced football.
Yeah.
Realizing that, all right, to help our QB, we need to get a run game.
Yeah.
To help our running backs, we need our QB to open it up for them. So it's working out for them. Granted, they're playing the bottom barrel maggots of the league, but they're gonna start having to crawl up that barrel.
You gonna have to win these games. You gotta win these games.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You lose games against teams you should be beat, and you know how it goes. It goes crazy over here.
I mean, they already did. They already lost one. Yeah. But that Bears loss was kind of like, and I don't even talk about losses like that. You know that, like you lose a game, but like. In this region, you don't lose to certain teams.
Yeah.
Especially with the roster they have.
Yeah, that Bears one was pretty bad.
Bro, it was awful.
They definitely did a good job of bouncing back the past 2 games. And also now that Jets win is looking a little more impressive, considering what the Jets did over the weekend. We'll talk about that. But this team, if their offense could just consistently get it together for the last stretch of the season. Yeah, no, anything can happen once you make the playoffs, but if they could just get it together and, give their defense like 22 points, 21 to like 28 points, somewhere around that range, they'll be good.
That all depends on what the coaching staff is going to put out there. What their game plan is, because, we have the players to be able to be successful, but are the coaches going to put them in the right position to do that?
Yeah, definitely. And just stick to this game plan that you did against the Colts. You know, balance. 30 runs, 28 passes. Balance. Philly, they are still undefeated, and I think every time Philly wins a game, people just like, good for them, but we still don't know how good they are. I feel like that's like the theme with them. It's like they're winning, good for them, they're playing really well. We just don't know how good they are.
Well, they haven't had many injuries this season so far, right? Any drastic injuries?
Not that I can think
So,
of.
you know, they're getting lucky right now. Hopefully that luck continues. But man, they're just playing solid football, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they're just playing overall balanced football. Like when you have more rushing attempts than passes, like that's rare in this league nowadays. So they're looking out for their quarterback because they know their quarterback. Yeah, he has a little experience, but he's still experienced.
Yeah.
So.
And he's just getting. You could tell he's just getting a little more confident, more confident by each game, and more confident with every time they give him like the offense, the pass plays. I can't even talk right now, but he's just a little more. He's getting more and more comfortable in that system that they got him playing in, and then as you said, you can see the balance, and they get the ball out quick. They get it to the guys who can make plays after the catch or after the run. So it's not like then they'll take their deep shots because it's not like he's dropping back and just looking for the home run. Or
Clutching it and running, you know what I mean? Because he has that capability as well. But I like how the touchdowns are balanced as well. He's not having to force feed receivers, you know what I mean? In the red zone, he's actually able to hand it off to a couple men, and they got the running backs, you know what I mean, combined for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And they go 4 for 4 in the red zone. Like they're just playing legit football. They know how to win, like in every which way.
Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, it seems like they know their identity. They know what they are as a team, and they don't try to do anything outside of that. They just do. They do what they do best, and they're not going to trick you with anything. They're not going to call these crazy plays that they've never called before or haven't ran before. So and it's working well at home and on the road.
Yeah, man. And only 2 things they really have to do is just value the football and protect Hurts.
Yeah, pretty.
You know what I mean? Him getting sacked 4 times, like one of those sacks could have been real bad. So you just want to protect him.
Yeah, keep the quarterback upright. But they're like running away with this NFC East right now. They keep going like this, they'll clinch the playoffs. They'll clinch the playoffs no time soon, and then they might have like a home field advantage throughout because they got 2. They're 2.5. They're 2 games up on Dallas and New York. So hey, as long as you keep winning, problems will go away.
Facts.
All right, I said it on top earlier. The New York Jets. Woo, this team, me and you've been talking about them. We're just like, they're not a bad team. Granted, we don't like them, but they're not a bad team. They're actually pretty good, especially defensively, and they
I like their black uniforms. I think them are dope. I like the
black and green ones?
Yeah, I like all black uniforms personally, for the most part. It's just something we didn't grow up being able to have. Granted, their Wildcats uniforms, our black and white joints is fire. But that was it. But Bills, they went back to that nonsense they used to do. Just give it to Allen and let him do every single thing for the team, thinking that makes sense.
He went back to his nonsense too.
Yeah. I mean, when everybody goes back to their nonsense, you're gonna see a bunch of BS out there.
I talk about he's gonna give you a few. He's gonna give you a few. You just gotta catch him, and the Jets caught him.
Yeah, they did.
Passes.
They did. And too, like, why is he a leading rusher, man? That's ridiculous. He's a
big dude too. So it's kind of like, all them hits he's taking, it catches up.
I mean, we all can just look at prime example Cam Newton, man.
Yep.
Legit was like the football version of Superman.
Yeah.
Physically, and his body after a while couldn't take it. So you gotta value your quarterback, especially he's an MVP candidate. They're having one hell of a season. Mm-hmm. So, granted, this isn't a bad loss because the Jets aren't a bad team.
They're not. But the Jets, when they got down 14-3, in the past they probably would have folded and the game would have got away from them. But they were still able to keep it close. They were still able to contain the offense, to contain the Bills' offense. The Bills really didn't do much after that, after they got that 14-3 lead. And you got to give credit to their offense, too. I mean, Zach Wilson, although he gets a lot of criticism, rightfully so, but he definitely put the team in position to be able to pull out the game with some of the plays he made.
I mean, he had no win totals this game. He had no win totals, had a fumble. There was a fumble, but I don't know if it was him. They got to the red zone 5 times. He converted 2 out of the 5, better than what the Bills did because the Bills could barely get down the field. So that being said, he did enough for them to be victorious.
Yeah, and this is one of those wins that can really give a team that was already confident, give them more confidence because everyone was talking about how the Bills are like the runaway favorites to come out the AFC. Josh Allen, MVP, Stephon Diggs, all this stuff, all this hype about the Bills, and they were just able to, the way they shut them down for the most part of the second quarter till the rest of the game, it was like these guys are already confident. Now their confidence is getting up there a little more. And even Zach Wilson, some of the stuff they've done with him is kind of squander his confidence, but he's probably going to feel confident too going into this latter part of the season though, with the way he's kind of helping them win too.
Yeah, he just has to be more consistent. Some games he'll have like 2 or 3 games in a row, and then he'll have one game. It's like, what are you doing now? I see why they be yanking you.
Yeah.
So he just got to be more consistent. But with the Bills, they got to protect Allen as well. Him being sacked 5 times is a little ridiculous. But I don't think they really game plan that, I want to say, in depth as they did with other better teams. Mm-hmm. Just felt like this might be one of them games. It's like we're still playing the Jets. Granted, their record's the record, but it's still the Jets. Allen, go out there and do what you do, and we can't have that. Just because you got to protect that man.
Yeah, and they're not a type of team that could just be taking teams lightly because of just what we've seen from them the last several years. Like it
just looks like every other game. Well, in the past weeks, they've been honed in and more focused and paid more attention to detail. Granted, and they gave Allen certain freedoms, but they kept him on a decent leash.
Yeah,
And this game was just like let him loose.
Man, yeah, he went back to that old. I'm gonna throw a jump ball to my fullback, Josh Allen, in a playoff game.
That's Tebow. That's Tebow stuff, and he ain't in the league no more.
I still can't forget that. All right. So I was watching the Titans-Chiefs game. The Titans were up 17-9. It was it was in the fourth quarter. I was like, and I think the Chiefs had just thrown an interception or whatever. I just fell asleep. I'm going to bed. I woke up and I saw the Chiefs won. Like, oh, what happened?
Yes, they did.
And then I saw what happened. I was like, and this is why we don't take Tennessee seriously at all, because they always do stuff like this and then they end up losing. And I'm like, and that's why they're the Titans.
Yeah.
And I don't think they was just letting Mahomes be free out there in that fourth quarter.
Like, he got mad at numbers. 68 pass attempts. That's Madden. As a franchise, you should feel disrespected that he was just doing whatever he wanted to.
And you see some of those throws he made late in that fourth quarter to get them back? It was like.
But once again, remember, this only happens to the bottom of the barrel or the middle of the pack teams. This don't happen with the upper echelon of the league, bro. But you can't have Mahomes throwing the ball 68 times.
You can't have no human should throw the ball that many times.
And he's your leading rusher, though. That's just flat out ridiculous. You have to really, you got to be very careful. He can never do that again. That's unacceptable.
I agree with you.
That's unacceptable.
Nobody should throw the ball that many times.
And that's why they only won by 3 points, bro. Because things weren't balanced. You weren't keeping the Titans on their toes. Yeah, it was just a bad game. Luckily, they came out with it, and nobody was injured.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I watched. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched a good amount of it. I was like, yeah, this is hurting my eyes. This is offensive to my eyes what I'm watching right now. But what the Chiefs, what the Titans were doing, they were pretty much saying, y'all ain't getting no big plays, so y'all gonna throw the ball right underneath, and the only way you're gonna get a big play is if you break off a long run. And they weren't really able to do that, so they had to methodically move down the field.
But they only ran the ball 19 times.
Yeah. I swear they gave up on their run game in the second quarter.
They always give up on their run game when you got Mahomes. And this is what happens at the end of the year. Granted, they got one, but we seen last time they was in the playoffs. I've been talking about this since the season started. He was doing what he was doing against the Titans at the end of the year, and what happened? That's all I'm saying. And I like Mahomes. He's nice. If he just chills, he'll be a lot better. That's all.
You gotta use them running backs. Use them running backs a tad bit more.
What are you paying them for? The block?
Collect the check.
I guess. Just put me out there. You ain't gonna be handing the ball off to me, but I don't like.
All right, the Bucks finally ended their losing streak. I swear these guys got a Super Bowl hangover, the Rams, because, they lose the game. You got Jalen Ramsey going off about the offense, talking about the offense sucks and all this other stuff. But, you on that last drive, all y'all had to do was get one stop, and you're, like, playing 12 yards off the receiver and stuff like that. So you just letting them catch short passes, go out of bounds and stuff like that.
He don't realize the defense does their job. It don't matter how many points the offense scores.
And they was up the whole game, too.
Like y'all can kick field goals all game. You guys do y'all job, so nobody should be pointing the finger at anybody. Football legit. You guys can point the finger at each other because that's how football is. Like y'all both got to do y'all jobs on each side. So you got to stop them and they got to score.
And all they had to do was get one stop.
Yeah,
one stop. Wasn't even one stop. All the offense had to do was get a first down.
Yeah.
Your offense gets a first down late after you just stop them, game's over. Your defense, just get one stop. You know they need a touchdown. Just get one stop. Can't even do that. Yeah. But the Bucks, people are so, I don't understand the Bucks. I've been saying it for weeks. It's just ugly out there. Their offense is ugly. Brady should have stayed home. It's not looking good at all. And once again, too many passing plays, too little running plays, offense not moving, not blocking. It's a hot mess. Their run game is non-existent, and that's it's terrible. They just look bad.
Yeah, if you can compare their play call to a human, it's like somebody with a concussion. Their balance and equilibrium is completely off, bro. There's no reason why a man 40-something years old should be throwing the ball 58 times. I know I've been beating a dead horse right now, but they trying to turn Brady into one. So, what are we doing here? This is crazy. I told you, they're trying to throw the man into retirement. Granted, he on his way there anyway.
He already there.
But they trying to express pass him, bro.
So, in the last 5 games, Brady has thrown 243 passes. This includes 2 games of 50-plus passes and 3 games of 40 or more passes.
And how many touchdowns combined? You got that?
In those 4.
Damn.
Yep, he got 4 touchdowns. He's got 2 300-yard games, but then 3 200.
That's like Matt Ryan, man.
Yeah.
It's time to go, brother.
Yeah.
It's time to lay it
Hang
down.
it up.
Yeah,
Hang it up. And what's the craziest thing is?
That's crazy.
Their division is so bad.
They have a chance to.
That they're 4-5 and they're in first place in their division.
That's why he ain't tripping.
Yeah.
But you get the playoff tie.
Yeah, right? Lord have mercy. That's
turn him to the Undertaker.
I completely skipped one team. Minnesota.
See, I knew I wasn't tripping.
No, I know. That's why I got to look at this sheet. The Minnesota Vikings have won 6 in a row. You got Kirk.
He was getting it.
What would they give it? The nicknames they had for him was hilarious.
I didn't even see that.
Oh, man. Because he out there with chains on, no shirt on the airplane.
How you like that?
How you like that? And, hey, you really got to be feeling yourself right now when your team is 7-1, second place in the whole NFC right now. They're playing really well. And, they're just beating up on these teams that are wounded. And that's what you got to do. You got a wounded duck, you beat him down.
Yeah, you like that? One thing, Kurt, you got to stop running the ball. He's looking crazy out there.
Oh, my God. Yo, him running the ball. You see that touchdown run he had? That was like the slowest thing I ever saw in my life.
Yeah, man, don't be doing that no more.
Oh, my gosh.
Molasses Malone. Nah, but I'm happy for Kurt, man. You've been a very high critic on him.
Still is.
I try to be supportive, but I do be skeptical at times. But nah, man, Kurt, man, do your thing out there in Minnesota.
Only thing I'm not critical about Kirk Cousins is his negotiating skills or whoever he has as an agent. Because, man,
we need to sit down with him.
Legit, because that man knows how to get his clients some dollars, guaranteed dollars too. You got to play it out, all of it.
But Kirk Cousins is one of them quarterbacks, though, like, he hasn't made it to the big game, but he gives you that hope that they might get there. he gives you that hope.
Yeah.
But it's like, just don't have it.
He's low-key like what Dallas, like how Dallas fans be viewing the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like, that's what a lot of people view him. They're like, he's putting up all these great numbers. The team got a winning record. They're balling out. And then the playoff comes, and then it's that time to make that one different making pass.
And kudos to him, though. He ain't got to worry about Green Bay.
Nope.
That's always been a thought of his side.
Yeah.
And he plucked it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're 7-1 right now. And you don't know who's actually the favorite to win it all this year. So at this point, it's just like one lucky bounce, you could be on your way to the big game. So kudos to the Vikings. They're giving their fans some hope. But
Kurt might turn to dirt. He might bring that one title to Minnesota.
Yeah, if that Vikings win the Super Bowl, we're definitely gonna see more chains and more shirtless dancing post games.
Facts.
All right, let's go over to Craig. Craig got y'all fantasy start 'em and sit 'em for this week, and then we gonna come back. Got a couple more stuff. We gonna come back.
What up, everybody, and welcome once again to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. It's your boy Craig, here to give you my starts of the week. Let's jump right into it, starting with the quarterbacks. This week we got Jimmy G, and he's facing the Chargers. He's been a strong start all season. Christian McCaffrey just adds depth, and he had a bye week, so look for him to go off. Andy Dalton going up against the Steelers. Steelers aren't looking too great. Quarterback situation's iffy. Defense can't get right. So look for Andy Dalton to have one of his, unknowingly monster weeks. Jacoby Brissett for the Cleveland Browns. Nice matchup. So I think that he will have a decent game this week. If you're desperate for a quarterback, throw in Jacoby Brissett. And let's talk about that boy Justin Fields. Had a monster week, 50-plus points. He was on my fantasy squad. I actually benched Lamar Jackson to put him in, and it was the right choice. Still lost, but that was because I faced someone who had Joe Mixon, and that just wasn't fair. But Justin Fields is a must-start every week from this point on going into fantasy. Wide receivers, I got all sleepers for you this week. Claypool, going to be that number one guy for Justin Fields, and Justin Fields is going off. So put Claypool in and expect good things from him going forward. And then Palmer from the Chargers had a great week last week, 20 points. Look for him to continue on as the number one guy until Mike Williams or Keenan Allen can return. Then I got Devontae Smith of the Eagles. Hasn't been looking bright for him these past couple weeks, but they have a favorable matchup against Washington. Look for Smith to get his numbers today. And the biggest sleeper of the week for me is going to be Kadarius Toney, playing on the Chiefs, having a favorable matchup against Cleveland. I think he will do well. Have his second game in. Now he knows the offense, so look for Toney to do well. For running backs, Deontay Foreman going up against the Atlanta Falcons. I like this matchup. Carolina been a little up and down. Atlanta been a little up and down. A divisional matchup, and anytime you have a divisional matchup, you know the players are really going to step it up. So I think Foreman's going to have a good game. Kenneth Walker. What can I say about Kenneth Walker? He's proved himself. He is like the best rookie running back of the season, and any game you put him in, he's going to go off. Josh Jacobs had a bad week this past week going up against New Orleans, but the entire New Orleans squad had a bad game. Even Devontae Adams only had 1 point. Excuse me, that was the week before. This past week, it was all about Devontae Adams. Look for Josh Jacobs to rebound this week with a favorable matchup going up against Detroit. Also, JT, You drafted him number 1 overall, most likely, Jonathan Taylor. I'm liking his comeback this week, once again with a favorable matchup. So look for him to have a good week this week. Tight ends, Kyle Pitts. He's been mostly down, had an up week, back down again, going up against Carolina. I like the matchup. Throw him in. David Njoku. This is a if healthy play. If healthy, going up against Kansas City, I do like Njoku. Cole Kmet hasn't been very good. Had a touchdown this past week, though. Favorable matchup. Justin Fields going off. I think Cole Kmet gets a tutty. This is a deep sleeper. He's probably already rostered, but Will Dissly, good matchup going on for him. And we all know that the quarterback over there has been playing really well. So look for Dissly to get in the end zone. Finally, for defenses, the Giants. I think the Giants going up against Houston is favorable to them as well. I like this matchup, and they've been doing really well on defense. That edge rusher they got there, Theodorix, or whatever, however you say his name. He's been a monster, and I think he's going to continue on. The New Orleans Saints, they've been pretty beast mode. They had a bad game last week. Look for them to recover this week. Going up against a bad team. For some reason, I'm scratching my brain to say that team's name. The Raiders have a favorable matchup this week, so I like that play. And then finally, Dallas going up against Green Bay. Something's going on with Aaron Rodgers. He's got the yips, throwing interceptions left and right, and nobody intercepts better than the Dallas Cowboys. So, all right, that's all I have for you. See you next week. Back to After the Whistle.
All right, and we are back. Another NFL news. So we talked about earlier, you heard us talk about how the Colts, every time they lose to the Pats, just a dumpster fire happens. So this time, they fired their head coach, who I think is a pretty good head coach. He just couldn't, it was just the quarterback issues, and that'll get he's good. He's a good coach, but they just been.
How do you get fired for having a new quarterback every season? How is that your fault? That's like somebody buying you the wrong groceries and you just making the best dish you can.
Right.
But it's not what they want. Like, bro, give me the right groceries. I'm only here to chef.
All right. And when he had, he made a playoff with Phillip Rivers. And I'm not talking about young Phillip Rivers. I'm talking about old, just hanging on by the thread Phillip Rivers. He made the playoffs with him.
That's Phillip by the Nile. There ain't no regular river anymore.
Yeah, so it was, and then they hired Jeff Saturday, who was doing TV, and I think he was coaching high school. Or assistant in high school.
I remember Saturday on TV, though.
Yeah, he was doing TV, and I believe he was coaching. I think it was either high school or college, but I'm pretty sure he was coaching high school, like back where he's from, and stuff,
Oh, that's what they're making a big deal about. I was kind of like unaware. They were
Yeah,
talking
it
about
was
Reggie Wayne and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
because it was like nobody saw Jeff Saturday coming, just hopping
No.
You would think normally you just get somebody that's on the staff. All right, you're gonna be the head coach for now, and then it's
that's why everybody's talking about the Good Old Boy Network and all that. I didn't even know what was going on. I just know Reggie Wayne is he Hall of Famer?
He should but
Well, he's one of the best coach wide receivers ever.
Yeah.
He's probably second behind Marvin.
Yeah.
So how do you don't even consider him though?
Right, and plus it's interim. He's just gonna coach it out to the rest of the season.
And he's already on the staff.
Yeah,
though. He's already there. So you mean you go out your way to go get one of your buddies, and you got somebody who's already certified to be.
Yeah, and he's already doing something else.
He's already
He's already occupied.
He's bled, sweat, and teared for the organization. He's on your staff already. He's down the hall. Just knock on his door.
Or just go see him right after practice. Hey.
He's an arm reach away, but you're gonna go call people and emails, and that's an insult.
That's very, very insulting. And also it's just Jeff Saturday, no disrespect to him, but he was doing other stuff right now. It was like the way they did it seemed like they thought like somebody else was gonna snatch Jeff Saturday and put him in a coaching position. It's like the dude is doing like a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, if you really wanted him to be a coach or consider him, you're gonna talk to him after the season's over and see if he's interested and stuff. But I'm pretty sure he's doing this just because
he played for the Colts too, though, right?
He played for the team.
I see that ring though. I forgot.
Yeah.
But he ain't Reggie Wayne though. He ain't Batman.
He was a center.
That's my point.
He was Alfred pretty much. That's a center. Yeah, he was Alfred. So yeah, it was the way they went about it was just terrible. And then the owner, I don't know. It seems like they're already tanking. Somebody said they're tanking like Victor's gonna play in the NFL.
I was gonna say who they gonna get, Victor, but he already took it. So I don't know who else it is. I don't know.
Also, quickly before we go to the MLB stuff, the Nets, who've made news for anything other than basketball, have finally made news about something for basketball. They're not. Jacques Vaughn has been elevated to the head coach.
Yeah, courtesy due to the pressures of the public pressures of social media.
I mean, we don't even know what happened with the Ime Udoka thing because they said they had to deal with him.
That is my point. The pressures of social media.
They should have hired him last year, though. They should have hired him before they hired Nash. Jacques Vaughn.
Yeah.
Because he was already there.
Yeah,
he was already there.
That was the big issue when they hired Nash. He's like, he has no experience. We don't even know what he could do. You got guys who are already, you know what I mean, who's been in the organization, who already know how the system is. Like, you know, they have the same credentials. They have more credentials than Nash did. And, you know how it goes, bro.
And you know what I was just talking to Paige about this. You know, none of this Nets news would actually last more than a day if they were actually winning basketball games. Because they just haven't been, for what was coming in, and everybody, we're bringing a championship to Brooklyn, and it's just been, we're bringing injuries.
Yeah, man.
And being on the bench and guys don't want to make layups.
They just took the heat off the Knicks. They don't even talk about the Knicks anymore.
Legit.
The Knicks is like, woo.
Legit. And could you imagine if they both signed to the Knicks?
It would just go right over there to that orange and blue.
I think it might be a little more crazier with the Knicks than with the Nets.
Oh, no, it definitely would be.
Yeah.
The media would be. But it's just wild, though, how, like, you don't even hear about the Knicks anymore just because the Nets moved to Brooklyn.
I didn't even know what the Knicks record was. I had to look it up.
I didn't even know Knicks was playing basketball games. I seen, like, one highlight of the Knicks, bro.
I think I saw, I think the last time I saw about the Knicks was the first game.
And Brunson was killing?
Yeah.
That's the game I saw. He was busting.
There was a game against the Timberwolves.
They were at home. He was getting buckets, that's all I know.
Oh, no. I don't know.
But I don't even see them. I barely see him on TV. It's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't seen them on primetime yet. On none of the primetime.
I mean, I don't really care to see them on primetime, but I'm just saying, like, if they were on TV, it's all good, but I'm not a Knicks. So,
also, you see Isaiah Thomas said his beef with Jordan is going to last for a lifetime. And it's like, bro, let it go.
Jordan ain't worry about you.
Right, and it's like, Isaiah, let it go.
He gonna hit you with that last dance laugh. While he's holding the iPad, watching you say that. He don't care, man.
MLB. Yo, if there was a bigger middle finger to like all of baseball, that was the Houston Astros.
Yeah,
they pretty much gave the whole entire league the big middle finger because they came back and won the World Series. I sent you the video.
With the nah, I ain't gotta get y'all the finger on TV.
and legit, and it's kind of like, all right, y'all said they only won because they cheated, but now they won again. And also, this was Dusty Baker's first World Series. Guy that's been in the he's been around for a long time, and he's had teams that were World Series caliber teams, but they never just won it, and he finally got one.
Dusty ain't Dusty no more.
On a cleanup job.
Yeah.
He was hired to clean up the mess.
Now, I'm happy for him, man, because I've been hearing about Dusty for a long time.
Yeah.
So it just, it's just good to see him get his, hold that World Series trophy and get his just due.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to Houston, man. I was rooting for him.
Yeah, I was rooting for them too, just because one, they were playing Philadelphia, and two, I always thought it'd be hilarious if they won the World Series again because y'all can't even try to put that cheating mantra on them.
And three, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. As I was taught.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like they were like hollowing out their, you know what I mean, the opponent's bats.
Right.
Or put, you know what I mean, or putting cement in the balls. Like, you weren't doing anything ridiculous. You were just stealing signs. So baseball, stop being so old school and be more creative.
And it wasn't like doing those little weird stuff and putting it on the baseball.
Yeah, they wouldn't do like the sticky stuff. You know what I mean? The tie. Around their ear and stuff, and their neck and all that. Like, they ain't doing none of that. They just stealing your signs, bro. And recording some things. You serious? Be more creative.
Exactly, but yeah, congratulations to the Astros on winning the World Series. Two more things before we start to we get to the other part. I don't know if you saw this about the Bruins and the player that they had signed, but I think they released him already. I think his name is Mitchell. So he was a player that was signed, and it was not a big hit with the with the players or the fans, because this guy, back in his days, Mitchell Miller, he was bullying a disabled African American student, and one of the things that he did made him lick a lollipop that they swirled around a urinal, and the kid had to get tested for like everything. Had to get tested for everything. He was like hurled a lot of racial slurs at him, and a lot of the fans weren't too pleased with the signing. A lot of the players weren't too pleased with the signing, and it was just like the Bruins management like just kind of like brushed them all aside, didn't do their homework on this particular player, and just signed him anyways. Like, this was the story. This is the story. With the madness that happened all last week, this was like one of those.
I don't even know about that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to send you the link.
He's from out here?
I don't know where he's from. I don't know where he's from, but he's like, right now he plays in Providence. He's like in the minor leagues right now.
Anybody beat the brakes off him for that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even understand how you could even do that to somebody or even think about doing that to somebody. That's like.
Yeah, and then some of the people, I was reading some stuff. They said some of the people saying like he was also enabled by the parents, because the parents was like acting like he didn't do nothing wrong.
What do?
Like,
bro, you know how that goes, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what people don't realize is like. Where we're from, we're not allowed to get away with certain things that other kids are allowed to get away with in certain areas, you know what I mean? And we all kind of got to be held to a certain standard as people. You know what I mean? No matter what demographic you come from, what area you come from, like, we all should just be held to standards as people. Like, I don't give a damn what. If my dog did that, we got an issue. Yeah. Like, I got an issue with all them kids. Like, it's going to be a real problem. So, like, I don't understand how any of that could be accepted.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I think they've, like, you know, reneged on the signing or something like that, because the backlash was just too much.
We live in a world where, like, none of that stuff's acceptable. And if you did that at one point in your life, unfortunately, he's going to follow you.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Especially to the person you did it to. Like, one, he's disabled.
Yeah, why are you picking on handicapped people? Like, what if something made you handicapped?
Right? So, yeah, I'm sure Bruins man, there was whole lot of people not pleased with the Bruins management on this, even the players.
The Bruins issue an apology or something?
I don't see one.
I mean, it just shows how organizations really feel about the players and the people that support the organization. They really don't care. Yeah. They only care once you guys make a big uproar about it. They was hoping they could sweep it under your nose.
Yeah. Here's an article. It says Cam nearly apologized. He said he failed in vetting Miller. So I guess the signing didn't happen. He said Cam Neely said the signing of prospect Mitchell Miller was his biggest regret as an NHL executive, and he expressed concern over failures in team's vetting process.
Yo, one thing I know about hockey, especially high-profile plays and stuff, you know about them. Like, I went to a hockey prep school. Like, I knew about you hear about these high-profile plays. So a story like that was probably covered by the news and all this stuff, how do you just not hear about that? And how is it not a red flag by somebody in your camp?
And also, you've applied to jobs. I've applied to jobs. Pedro's applied to jobs. That's one thing they do when they're considering hiring you. They do a background check. A whole background check.
And that was a criminal offense, correct?
Yes.
He got a whole record. Not a whole record, but he got a criminal offense that you guys didn't know about. Like, and you know. Granted, everybody could grow, but you gotta be a whole sucker if you ever think that's cool to even do that to anybody, no matter how old you are. Like, you gotta be a bozo.
Definitely. So that was that. And then lastly, college football was Alabama. Lost to LSU. They stormed the field. And then Georgia beat the brakes off Tennessee. They beat the brakes. The game that was so hyped up, and then it was just, Georgia just took it all over.
I think we spoke about that. I did say Georgia was gonna beat the brakes off. But I said it jokingly. So I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. But
I thought it'd be somewhat close, and they pulled away late. But no, it was not close at all. It was all Georgia, and then it started raining, and it was and then the thing about Georgia is they got all these guys, and then there's some more right behind that are on the bench, and then there's some more coming in. So it's kind of like, ooh. Now if they get like a quarterback that doesn't hinder their team, like granted their quarterback, they're winning despite of the quarterback.
I don't understand how these like Power 5 schools that are like contenders every year get these quarterbacks who like, then you got these other schools that get these, like, what?
I read this one podcast I listened to.
What's it, less is more?
No, he was saying the University of Georgia would have more championships if they didn't, if they were more acceptable of a black quarterback.
They're not accepting of that?
I think the last black quarterback they had was like Quincy Carter's son, or
I didn't think that.
I think they've had like 2 black quarterbacks, but because you look at it, they had a guy like Justin Fields from Georgia, who was there, but you didn't want to start him because you wanted to start somebody else, but Justin Fields was way better and then he goes over to Ohio State. Then you got Cam Newton right there. And you didn't even bother with him, so it's kind of like,
Damn, I didn't even know that was still a thing. That's sad.
Yeah.
I always wonder why they always got some sorry quarterback. He's not sorry, but it's like, who is this guy?
Right.
Surrounded by all these guys.
And you're in a state that produces a whole bunch of NFL players. And
every year there's mad quarterbacks at different schools, small schools, big schools that are nice. And you guys, Alabama's, and granted, I'm not saying nothing crazy about Matt because he was good for what they need him for. But it's like, bro, they got some guys out there that are studs at the quarterback position that can do it all.
I think Trevor Lawrence from Georgia too.
Probably.
And he ended up at Clemson.
Probably, man. I don't know, but
Right?
I can see that. Like, that's crazy, though.
That is crazy, but
Never understood it.
me either. But Georgia's overall the number 1 team right now. So college football season is coming to a close. But all right, let's get into some post game stuff and all that good stuff. Some of them we have, some of them you'll see afterwards. But first one, Boston College had their season opener. On Monday, they won by 2 points on a game-winning layup by freshman Prince Alibe. I think that's how you pronounce him. He played with Chet and Jalen Suggs.
Okay.
Yeah, he played on that team
Okay,
in high school. Yeah,
That's dope,
yeah.
man.
So he's like one of the more like prize recruits that they've had in a while, and yeah. They took a 3-point lead, 68-65, and then you guys went on that run. I mean, what did you tell you guys in that span with that?
Same thing I've been telling them the whole game. Hey, take care of the ball. Really stay connected on defense and take a good shot. Don't force it. They're gonna press us some. Go versus flow. Sometimes go, sometimes flow. And so we've been talking about that the whole game. We just happened to do it in that segment, and we did it really well. But we turned them over some. We went to switching all of those handoffs, and we turned them over some, and it got us out of transition a little bit.
CJ came in and gave you guys a boost off the bench when he came in. Talk about the energy he brought in.
Yeah, he's another older guy. I mean, he averaged 20 and 10 in college. Now it was Division II, but 20 and 10 is 20 and 10. So, but he's kind of, we talked about him being like our Al Horford. He's just an older guy, show up every day early, stay late, positive, always got good spirit, and he just showed up and played good basketball, But he's been in these games, maybe not at this level, but he's played a lot of games in 4 years of college.
All right, and we are back. Next up, we got BC players TJ Bickerstaff and Prince Alibe. And I think TJ Bickerstaff is related to one of the Bickerstaffs from the NBA. I think. I'm pretty sure. But check this out. All right, fellas, it was kind of back and forth in the second half. What kind of changed for you guys when you guys got down, when they got that lead, and what kind of changed for you guys offensively and defensively?
It was our defense, because they kept getting these shots off the pick and roll. Like, he would set the screen and he would stay there, and then their guards would just shoot over the top, and we had to make sure we locked in on that and stepped up so they couldn't get them shots. You know, I do got to give them credit for hitting them, so it was a tough team. And, you know, we just had to make sure we stayed up close to them, don't let them get these shots.
To add to that, it's definitely a game of runs, and I feel like Coach Grant and our staff, we do a good job of adjustments, putting the right guys in at the right time, and just we got a lot of dogs on the team, so that's what we did. We just fought it out and got the dub. So
TJ, for you kind of in the second half, you kind of to start that half, it was like you were attacking the glass a little more, getting points off second chance points. So did you just make a concerted effort to do that?
Yeah, I always do. Every time I go in, I tell myself I got to get them boards. And when I get them boards, that's when everything else starts falling into place. And I help my team. We talk about EGBs, energy generating behaviors. That's all we work on. They push that in practice, and that's all I am.
Prince, first game, how nervous were you? And you know that last play, walk me through that one.
it was nervous. I was a little nervous at the beginning. Not in the sense like I've never been in this situation before, but you know it's a new journey, and I'm glad I'm in it with these guys because to see it worked out and they helped me out even through the shots that I usually make that didn't fall. You know, we just kept through it, and they gave me confidence. It was definitely done, but I'm glad I'm here with them. So.
All right, and we are back. Next up, we got the high school. The high school playoffs is all well underway. First up, St. Mary's, they beat Archbishop Williams 37-13. They'll be playing Linfield this Friday. Coach Driscoll after the game.
All right, Coach, you guys opened up the postseason, got a good balanced attack on offense to emphasize on the run game. It seemed like that was the real focus.
Yes. We we're playing this team back-to-back, had a good game with them last week and another physical game tonight. They're very good football program there, and we came out and I think we established the run again, similar to what we did last week. You know, had some struggle at the time throwing the football, which was tough. But I'll tell you what, we stepped up when we had to be stepped up and play tough, especially in the defensive side of balls. We got to fix some big play issues later in that second half, and got to learn to finish games a little better than we have been the last couple of weeks. And that's stuff we got to work on as a coach and players, you know. But I'll tell you, I'm impressed. Another, good 1-2 punch with Derek and Dave tonight, and guys up front played hard and dug in there.
Yeah, and at this point in the season, it's win and move on.
Yeah, it's win in advance or go home.
All right, and we're looking forward to next week. What are some things you look forward to next week's matchup?
Next week it looks like it's going to be Linfield, and we don't know much about them. You know, we know what they do. They've had a successful year so far, and it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a battle for us.
All right, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, and we are back. Next up, Kip Academy. They beat Lee School that drove 3 hours to, man, I would have been tight. Just like that video guy who was tight that they drove 3 hours for that behind whooping. Check this out. Okay, Coach, this was, you guys set the tone early in this one defensively with the first one, but it feels like this was one of the more complete games from your team this season.
Yeah, we talked all year, and finally I think we had a real consistent game all the way around. 4 quarters, both sides of the ball, and special teams. We were consistent in all of our stuff, and that's what led to the big first half, which led to the big win today. So we preach consistency. It worked today, and that's why I think we had that success.
What was clicking on offense? It seemed like I think you guys scored on each of your drives in that first half. What was just working on the offense?
Yeah, when Juan's on, it's a whole different beast for our offense. And today he was on 15 of 16, I think. Only almost a little drop ball in the end zone. And when he's on, when he's dealing to 6 different receivers, I think it's hard for a lot of teams to slow us down. And that seemed to be the big thing today. Was he was making great reads, And our receivers were making great reads too and getting open down the field, especially even against the wind, getting open and just doing what they do best, and that's get the ball in space and make things happen. So real proud of our guys for that.
You know, you guys await the winner of Lowell and Millis. You've already seen Lowell Catholic once, but you know, for you and your team personally, how happy are you that you're just able to be healthy at this point? Because you know, at some point in the season, you didn't have everybody there, and you guys were just struggling just to keep guys on the field. And how happy are you that at this point in the season, a lot of teams got guys hurt, but you guys are getting guys back?
And this game is a game of attrition, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint, and we're here at the right time, we're healthy at the right time, and we have our guys at peak at the right time. And you can't ask for anything better than that. We have our health, and because of that, I think we're a dangerous team to see.
All right, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, player interviews. First up, Derek Coulange from St. Mary's had over 200 yards rushing in the game and a touchdown.
That's dope.
Check
Good work,
this
fellas.
out.
All right, Derek, man, big day on the ground for you. Big day as a team and in general. You guys playing these guys back to back, getting this victory. You know, how does it feel just to move on and get another chance at it?
It feels good to move on. We kind of underestimated that team a little the first time, and the second time I feel like we had a good game plan this week, and we're ready for them to play hard the whole game.
What was going for you on the ground game? It seemed like you were really just finding the holes and just getting yards after the contact as well.
Well, it starts with, Dave had 5 touchdowns last week, and I kind of struggled, so I feel like they kind of didn't want to respect me this week, so it made everything easier with him just going in motion. They were following him everywhere.
And what do you guys have to do for next week to move on? You guys take on Linfield next week. I don't know much about them yet, but what do you guys have to do offensively and defensively so you can advance?
They just play together as a team. They play hard. They actually play hard, so we just know we gotta compete with them. I feel like we're more talented, but we just gotta compete with them at the level they do.
All right, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, and we are back. Okay, next up we got Kip wide receiver Mornell Castro. He had another big game. Over 100 yards and a touchdown, and he lost somebody.
That's dope.
I mean, you had a big game for you, especially in that first half. Got a lot of open looks, made a lot of plays. What was cooking for you?
Last week I had like a mediocre week. I didn't do my best, but this week I got my leg back and I tried to perform my best.
What was working for the offense? Seems like I think you guys scored on each possession you guys had in the first half. What was working for the offense?
All week we've been working on our crafts, learning what to do and what our faults are, and then we've just been perfecting them. That's all you do.
And then you feel like that fumble early on kind of set the tone for you guys, offensively and defensively?
Momentum is everything in football, so us getting that back first drive, I think that set the tone for the rest of the game.
All right, now you guys wait to see who your opponent is, Lowell Catholic or Millis. You already seen Lowell Catholic this season. How exciting are you for the next matchup, especially that you guys are now back fully healthy towards this part of the season?
We're looking for any opponent, but Lowell Catholic would be great because we versed them not at 100% here in our home, and now we'd go to their home and shut them down, get our leg back.
All right, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Okay, some highlights. All right. St. Mary's highlights against Archbishop Williams. Check these highlights out. check out the highlights from Boston College Cornell game. All right, top 10 plays from week 9. Then we're going to come back and give our game picks. Well, we're going to come back. We'll tell you a little bit of boxing that happened, but game picks coming up. All right, and we are back. Okay, there was some boxing stuff that happened. Our resident boxing expert, Pedro, if y'all could hear him over the weekend, what went down over the weekend?
Dimitri Bivol against Zurdo Ramirez. Zurdo means lefty.
Okay.
Zurdo Ramirez.
Yep. He's like 44 now, 30 knockouts. But it wasn't enough.
Oh.
All right.
He needed to drink his milk or something. So he got the hold on 1 second, I gotta pull this up. Sorry folks. All right, so he defended his WBA light heavyweight title over Zurdo, Z-U-R-D-O. And so now
10 times, by the way.
the 10 times.
Yeah.
10 times. 10
Okay.
times. All right. So now the talks of him and Haney, is that the talks, Pedro?
No. He's 175 pounds. So he might go down and actually fight Canelo Canelo Alvarez at 168.
And he beat Canelo already, right?
He did at 175, yes.
Okay.
What am I gonna drop weight and fight him again for?
Sure,
Is there a belt on the line?
Well, Canelo is actually, he's actually undisputed at 168.
Okay. All right.
So it makes sense to go down and fight him.
Well, that's why we asked, because I figured there had to be a reason why he wants to drop weight just to whoop on somebody again.
Yeah, so.
I'm Canelo, I'm staying away from him. At 175.
I mean, if you lose to him at 168, I mean, that's shoot.
That's
You lose
extra-
to him again, that's it. He undisputed now.
Extra force.
He undisputed against you.
I mean, this guy's big. He's like 6'1". You know what I mean? 175. He's a good big man.
Yeah. But do you think we'll see him and Haney ever go at it?
No, because Haney is actually like 135 right now.
Oh, damn.
One what?
135.
Jeez.
Like, that's how much he weighs?
Yeah.
As an adult? I'm slim. I don't even, like, what? Damn. I didn't know they was that light. Like, you hear that? That's middle school weight.
That's lighter than me.
Bro, that's middle school weight.
Oh, man. That is our boxing expert right there, Mr. Pedro, the voice in the sky.
Damn.
All right, we got games for y'all to pick. Okay, week number 10, NFL season is flying by. I mean, I don't know why they're giving us this Thursday night game. I'm not watching it. Atlanta and Carolina.
It's going to be, like, interrupted by, like, an award show or something.
Oh,
I was hoping. You said Atlanta, Carolina? Oh, I'm going with my guy Mariota, Atlanta.
I'm with you, Atlanta. Seattle at Tampa.
I'm going to go with Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Geno on the road.
Man.
Minnesota at Buffalo. Josh Allen might not play.
I'm going with Minnesota, man.
I'm going to go with the Bills just because this is Stephon Diggs playing against his old team. Detroit, Chicago.
Going with Detroit, man.
I'm going to go with the Bears. I like the way Justin Fields has been playing. Denver at Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. I ain't picking.
I'm going with Denver because I don't know about the Tennessee got a young quarterback in. Jacksonville, Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Chiefs. Cleveland at Miami.
Miami.
Upset alert, Cleveland. Houston at New York. Giants.
Houston.
I'm gonna go with Houston too. I can't pick it. New Orleans at Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm gonna go with New Orleans, man.
I'll go with Pittsburgh, I guess. I don't know. It's like whoever want to lose. Indianapolis at the Raiders. Oh, Lord, the Raiders. Oh, the Raiders.
Yeah, I gotta take the Colts, man, against my Raiders, bro. This is bad.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders. You know.
McDaniels gotta go.
Dallas at Green Bay. Can the Packers end the losing streak?
Probably not against Dallas, so I'm gonna pick Dallas.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go with Dallas. Arizona at LA Rams.
I'm gonna go with who? Arizona?
Rams. Yeah, Arizona.
I'm gonna go Arizona.
I'm gonna go Arizona too. Chargers at 49ers.
49ers.
San Fran. And Monday Night Football, Washington at Philly.
Philly.
I'm going to go with Washington on this one. I'm going to go with Washington. And we have come to an end once again. Thank y'all for tuning in. LCTV After the Whistle on Instagram. Mukala K on Instagram. Mr. Burn23 on Instagram. Oh, next week is our live show. Yeah, next week. We live next week. So
all right.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. We're gonna have an Athletes Corner segment and all that. Have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to check out the website.